Yo, what's going on, guys? Bobby here, and today I'm going to be doing a top 10 brawlers. Now, I have been super busy preparing for Worlds, which is in 24 days, which is just crazy to me. It's been 2 years since I've played in a World Finals, and in just 24 days, I'm going to be playing there again. But obviously, I've been doing a lot of practicing, a lot of scrimming, and that means I've been learning a lot about the new meta. Now, I'm not comfortable enough to do a tier list because I don't know where every single brawler lies, but it is very obvious about what the best brawlers are. So without further ado, let's get this started. Quickly, I just wanted to give an honorable mention to Ruffs. Now, Ruffs, I don't expect to be a top 10 brawler in any of your eyes, in ranked or on trophies, but the truth of the matter is Ruffs is very strong in this meta. He could even be a top 6 to 7 brawler, at least in pro play. On modes like Gem Grab, Brawl Ball, and even Hot Zone, you're seeing Ruffs go first pick a lot of the time. You guys are going to see a lot of Ruffs being picked or banned at the World Finals. And it's for a few reasons. He's just very multi-purpose. So if you're facing a comp like Jean and Crow, for example, you can just go the bags. Where if you're facing brawlers like Tara that pierce, you just go what I call Boom Boom Dog gadget. So there's always a good gadget to be used. And then you have the wall break star power, which is good if you want to break the walls, if you're facing brawlers like Rico. Or you can have the HP gadget if you're playing bounty or knockout and just want to take some time camping and just chilling a little bit. Now, the hyper is obviously the best part about the brawler, where if you have like an Ollie, a Kit, a Mo, just anything with a broken hyper on your team, you can give them the hyper instantly on top of the fact that you're giving them a power up. So just that in general is a lot to work with Ruffs. And he is probably a top 10 brawler, but because this is more not for casual, but for trophies and ranked, I'm going to leave him out of my top 10. So now starting off the list, coming in at number 10, we have Jean. Now, Jean has been a top brawler for a really long time, and it's always the same stuff. So he's really good at a bunch of things. One of them is healing. If you stand near your teammates, they heal for like 400 a second, which every 5 seconds is 2,000 HP. So they can basically keep shooting and just stand beside you and you heal. It's really important to have this star power, in my opinion, on all the time when you play Jean, unless you're facing like triple tank, where it is kind of valuable to have the star power that does damage during the pull. Then you have two useful gadgets, just like I spoke about with Ruffs. It's really important for some brawlers that they have useful gadgets in different situations because it makes them very flexible. So you have the, what is it called? Vengeful Spirits, I think, where if you're playing bounty or knockout versus some range brawlers, and you know Jean, it does very small damage from far away unless you're hitting them for the 2k shot from up close. So those Vengeful Spirits, they really do help with the additional damage that Jean needs to just make sure every sniper doesn't walk you down. And then obviously the knockback is really good against tanks if you're playing like a gem grab mid. And then the fact that you can keep brawlers low. It's so easy. There's no brawler in the game that it's easier to hit a shot with than Jean. So let's just say you're facing an Ashe. The Ashe has 2k HP, and you obviously don't want to let that Ashe heal up. You just take a shot at it. It's probably going to hit the Ashe for, 300 or whatever, 400. But you're not going to let that Ashe heal up at all, which is perfect. And then obviously he is one of, if not the best gem grab gem carrier in the game. So Jean is just so good for so many different reasons. The pull obviously is insane. I'm not going to talk about the pull. And this is easily going to be our top 10 starter off on the list. Next up, we got Phinx, and Phinx is probably the second best brawler in Hot Zone. It's probably the best brawler in Hot Zone, but Mina exists, and Mina's the best brawler in the game, so Mina's the best everywhere. But besides Mina, Phinx is probably the best brawler in Hot Zone. Just the fact that you can throw that super down and you can totally take over a zone is just absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you could do that on any type of mode in the game. Like, you can throw it on the gem mine. You're going to take control of the middle of the map. You can even use it in like bounty, but the issue is you're going to get sniped by longer range brawlers when you don't have the super. So just stick to Brawl Ball, Gem Grab, and especially Hot Zone if you're playing Phinx. But yeah, Phinx is just a very good anti-tank right now. The gadget back to the Phinxture, which is a pretty cool name, by the way, where you step back in time and you return to the position you were 3 seconds ago, is also very big because, one, it's a way to get a few shots off and escape. But 2, you also get the ammo you had 3 seconds ago. So what a lot of good players do with Phinx is they'll have 3 ammo, they'll run up to a tank, they'll shoot 3 times, they'll immediately gadget back so the tank can't hit them anymore, and they already did damage with their 3 ammo, and they have another 3 ammo back. People also combine that with the Phinx super, so you get 6 or 7 shots in the Phinx super, and I don't know, Phinx is just a very strong anti-tank right now, and he is easily going to be in our top 10. Coming up at number 8, we have Meeple, and Meeple is probably the most well-rounded brawler in the game right now. I think you can literally play Meeple on every single mode and take him comfortably besides Heist, because the damage is just lacking for Meeple. He has 2 of probably the top 5 best gadgets in the game with his knockback and with his box. Now, they do have really bad reload times, but that's because they're broken. So, I mean, they have to have bad reload times for it to be fair. The super is pretty good where you can shoot through walls. The star powers are honestly not amazing, but the hyper on Meeple is absolutely insane, especially on bounty or knockout where you're facing a lot of throwers or snipers. The fact that you can just run like in a wall and not get hit while also hitting your opponents when they're on squishy brawlers is absolutely unreal. But even better than that, you can also play Meeple on Hot Zone and, you know, Brawl Ball and Gem Grab where there are higher HP brawlers because that box and the knockback is so good to keep brawlers away from you. I don't know. Meeple's a very strong brawler, and he is easily going to be on my lucky number 8. Now we got a couple of support brawlers for you guys, starting off with Jay Young. Jay is insanely good as a support brawler. He was the best support brawler in the game until this most recent balance, and we're going to talk about the next one in a bit. But yeah, Jay Young is a very strong brawler right now. He's good in bounty, he's good in gem grab, he's good on brawl ball, he's good on hot zone. Knockout, he's okay, not the best, but again, I would just avoid Heist because he doesn't have that much damage. But honestly, you can even play Jay in Heist because you typically get some pretty good matchups. You just need to make sure you're picking him after you have 2 damage dealers already on your team and you have good matchups. But anyways, that's not the point. The point is, Jay is an insane support. You can always be healing your teammates and giving your teammates speed, which is absolutely insane, to be honest. Like, speed is one thing, like Max gives speed, and heals is another thing, like Poco gives heals. But the fact that you're able to do both is just absolutely unreal. And then you can also do pretty decent damage, and the shots are pretty easy to hit. So honestly, he's just a very consistent brawler. And as long as he doesn't get overwhelmed, you're typically going to win every single game that you play with him. And now our best support brawler in the game, which is probably just ever so slightly better than Jay, is going to be Max. Now, Max got a really big buff. Like a really big buff. And similarly to how I was talking about Ruffs, Max is absolutely insane when it comes to the hyper. You can give your teammates a ton of hyper when you get yours, and you get yours very easily now. You get it in a third of the time. No, sorry, not a third. It is a third, so 33% easier to get it now than it was before the balance. And then he also got another buff on top of that. So Max is just really good right now. You can play Max, again, in every mode besides Heist. All these brawlers you can play in every mode besides Heist. I would honestly probably avoid Max in Knockout as well. But you can play him in any other mode. And he's a good gem grab as well. He's just like the centerpiece support to your comp. And then you throw like an anti-tank like Cord or Otis or something like that on your right. And then a tank like Ollie or Ash or something like that on your left. And you have a very scary comp that is going to be extremely difficult for your opponents to beat. I would stick with Gem Grab and Brawl Ball, to be honest, especially Brawl Ball because it's definitely the best spot for Max. But he is very flexible. You can play him into throwers and knockout and bounty too. So you do you. Now, starting off our top 5, we have Kaze. Now, Kaze's been a very annoying brawler for a while now. I honestly think the gadget needs a huge rework for Kaze. The fact that you get the gadget every 6 seconds is absolutely unbelievable. And the fact that you can go invisible every 12 seconds, like, that's not okay. For a brawler that has the movement that Kaze has, to the point where you can't have a thrower on the other team, is insane. But then the fact that you can also go invisible with that brawler is just not right, to be honest. Now, thank God they did actually nerf the hyper, as I think Kaze was a top 3 brawler in the game before this balance change. But she's still very good because of her mobility and her damage, and the fact that half the brawlers in the game are just absolutely unplayable into her. Now, she does have some counters now, like maybe Tara or Pam. But again, very good brawler, and you can play Kaze on literally every single mode in the game. Now, coming in with our top 4, we have 4 different classes of brawlers, and I absolutely love this because before, you know, our top brawlers would all be tanks or supports or assassins, and the fact that we have 4 different classes is absolutely beautiful. And we are going to start off with the thrower, Guju. Now, Guju is absolutely insane right now, and it is not because of the brawler itself, but the Gree bot, especially the hyper, is just unbelievable. unbelievable. A Grigri is honestly, the Hyper Grigri is better than most teammates you're going to get on your team. Once you throw that down, that Grigri is just a sniper. They definitely need to nerf it because it's almost like you can't juke those shots. Like the range on it, the speed, the damage, it's absolutely unreal. The fact that it has a shield and like 10,000 HP is insane. When I saw the hypercharges come out in the Brawl Talk, I saw that and I was like, whoa, that is going to be broken. And it most definitely is. She is just so strong. And it's to the point where you can even play her on modes where you expect that you won't be able to. So stuff like Heist, where, you know, Guju obviously doesn't do a lot of damage compared to Dinah or Barley. You could still play Guju there if you have really good matchups, because in those good matchups, you are going to absolutely shut down your opponents. I'm a big fan of Guju, and this is easily a top 4 brawler. Coming in at number 3, we have Otis. Otis is our best anti-tank in the game because the mute, the hypercharge, and the damage that Otis does is just absolutely incredible. There's so much to love about Otis. So similarly to Jean, it's not like, well, Jean is a single shot, so it's a little bit different, but Otis is like a vision gear machine. If you're playing a map like Double Swoosh, where there's a lot of grass and a lot of tanks, having a brawler like Otis where you can just shoot that gadget that's kind of like a little Barley shot and tag someone for vision, or hitting one of your 6 ink shots, like it's just absolutely insane how easy it is to get vision with Otis. And then once you get that vision, if you're on a vision map at least, you just start spraying your opponents down with the damage that you have. The damage that Otis does is second to none in the game right now, especially the fact that it sprays and it's not a single shot, so it's pretty easy to hit. And then obviously when you get your super, you can just run up to someone, mute them, and auto-aim them. You could typically chain when you do that as well, as long as it's on a high HP brawler. And this makes Otis very, very, very strong in this meta, I can't lie. Now, second, we have Ollie. Yes, Ollie did get a nerf, but the hypercharge is still extremely strong, and both gadgets are extremely strong, and that is why Ollie is good. Now, Ollie has some weaknesses. Like, Ollie doesn't have range. So let's talk about that first. Let's talk about the weaknesses when talking about Ollie. Ollie doesn't have any range, but the movement speed that you get from the star power buff is 1, really strong, and then the shield that you get from the other star power is 2, very strong. So you have 2 ways to kind of account for that weakness. And then if you're facing 3 snipers, you can also go the jump gadget. So you have 2 ways to account for that weakness now. And this just makes Ollie really versatile. This allows you to play Ollie on modes like Knockout or Bounty really easily. And then the other gadget, the Pole gadget, which is very good right now makes Ollie counter tanks, because you can stun those tanks momentarily and you and your teammates can go ahead and go for the kill. Now, obviously, Ollie Hyper is one of the 3 or 4 best Hypers in the game, so nothing got changed really about the Ollie Hyper. Only thing that really got changed is you can't jump over walls. But yeah, Ollie's absolutely insane. You can play Ollie on any mode besides Heist, because again, just lack of damage. And yeah, I don't know. I love Ollie. I think Ollie's great in the meta, and this is definitely the second best brawler in the game. And no surprise over here, the best brawler in the game is going to be Mina. Now, Mina is an assassin, so surprise, surprise, she's obviously going to be number 1. Everything about Mina is broken. The star powers are broken. The gadgets are broken, especially the gadget that puts you in a shield and you can't even get hit, even if the opponent is inside your shield. Like, what is that mechanic? And then the super is a stun that should not do damage, but it does a lot of damage and throws your opponents up in the air. So it's just like, what is going on? She was already the best brawler in the game before the before the hyper came out. Now the hyper is also just like ridiculously broken. So I don't know. This is just the best brawler in the game. I'm not a fan, so I'm not going to give it too much attention. And that is going to be my list. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you do, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will catch you guys again later.